This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is.
All right. Hello, beautiful people. We gotta go ahead and get into this live. I had a little spill today as I was getting on here. And this kind of goes into what we're going to be talking about today. But today we're going to be discussing, the power of your words. We're going to be discussing self-inflicted curses, which is one of the most, I want to say, the most occurring type of curse is the ones that we put on ourselves. The most overlooked curse is also the ones that we put on ourselves. So we're going to be breaking down what ways that we can, curse ourselves, how to undo it if we've already done it, what to look out for, what to avoid, everything, in regards to that. I wanted to start off by saying, number one, thank y'all for tuning in. If you haven't already, definitely make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever I go live or posting new content. If you're watching from Facebook, thank you for tuning in. Definitely make sure that you share this video with any people that you feel like can use it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have been seeing, and this has kind of been like a running joke probably since spirituality has been becoming popularized again. There has been a post that has been going viral. It usually goes viral at some point throughout the year. And it's talking about, the people who say grand rising bother me. The people who, one of the terms that I hate hearing or I don't like hearing is grand rising. Now, this post, again, always circulates at least once a year. There's always somebody saying some goofy, dumbass shit on social media in regards to spirituality, in regards to our practice, in regards to our beliefs, in regards to the things that we know and we understand. And nobody ever takes time out to really explain why we say the things that we say, why we make the conscious effort to change the way that we speak, to change the words that we use, to change our energy in times of worry or trouble or just, being in a distraught place or, tensions may be high or whatever the case is. Being more conscious of what we're putting out in the universe, whether that's through our words, whether that's through our energy, whether that's through our intentions, whether that's through our actions, whatever it may be, being more consciously aware of the part that we play in the grand scheme of things, okay? Now, for those who may be spiritually new or who may be getting into spirituality, I am going to be breaking down a lot of I'm not going to say a lot, but a few of the terms that you may hear spiritual people start to use. The first one being grand rising. Okay, why do spiritual people say grand rising? Why do we say great rising, wealthy rising, grand awakening, and everything else? Okay, now the reason why we do not say good morning is because all words have meaning. All right. And just because you are accustomed to saying certain things, certain words, certain phrases, does not mean that when you break those things down, that it means what you think it means. Okay. So we are so used to saying good morning that we have never even broken down what good morning would even mean. Okay. And how a morning would even be good. Okay. Now, when you're tapping into the knowledge of words, you're tapping into something called etymology. Okay, etymology. I think it's ETY. Okay, not ETI. ETY. Etymology. Okay, this is the way that words are formed, the definitions that words have behind them, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's look into the word morning. Okay. Now I'm going to be using, I always forget the name of this. It's called Etymon line. I don't know. Online etymology dictionary. If you type that in, it should pop up. So we're going to look up the word morning. Okay. And where it comes from. Okay. So the word mourn, okay, in morning comes from the original word mourn, MORN, okay, or MOURN, okay, which is talking about grief. Okay, to mourn is to grieve. When we are in a state of mourning, we are in a state of grief. Okay, now how did we get mourning, meaning grief, okay, to mean the day time? How the fuck did we get to that? How did those things become connected? Okay, because those things have nothing to do with each other, right? The daytime, the rising times, what we call it, the wee hours of the day. How did we get grief? How did grief get associated with that? Okay, now this goes back to when the working world, the workforce, started to become popularized back in the early 1900s, late 1800s. Okay, now remember, before that time period, we were not working for people the way that y'all think, based on what we're doing right now. It wasn't that type of setup. It was more so people working for themselves and having their own land, doing their own thing, and they would barter, they would trade, or they would make private business sales with each other based on what the other person brought to the table. So there was not no we're all going to clock in type of thing. It was I take care of my land and my shit, grow my stuff, make my stuff, do whatever I do. You do the same for you. We come together and exchange goods or trade goods or barter services or whatever the case is, and we go our separate ways. There was no such thing as an indoctrinated school system where everybody was going to the same school system to learn the same foundational basics and all of that. You learned in the home you grew up in. Okay, your parents had the responsibility of teaching you all that you needed to know. The people who were raising you had the responsibility of teaching you all that you needed to know. There was no system that you were sent to for you to get properly indoctrinated, okay, so that you can become a good worker, okay? Because the whole purpose of the education system of this particular, the westernized education system, is to make you a worker, okay? The whole purpose of the westernized education system is to make you a worker, an employee, okay? A sheep, okay? That's it. That's the only point. Okay? It serves no other purpose. Everything else we were doing for ourselves. Okay? The doctors were being taught by doctors back in the day. All right, they had schools for things like that, but you didn't go to school, you know, where you had to learn a certain curriculum and all of this weird shit that they doing now. Okay, so let's get back to this word. So how did we get mourning, okay, to mourn, to be in a state of grief? How did we get that associated with the beginning of the day? All right, now this is purposely done. Okay, this is purposely done. All right, we have always been conscious of words. We have always been conscious of the meanings behind the things that we say. We have always been conscious of the power of the tongue as melanated beings. Okay, we've always understood that our words have had meaning. We always understood that whatever we speak out of our mouth will come true, will manifest, will happen, will whatever. Okay, so these people also started to learn the same things that we know. Remember, it was people that looked like us that taught these motherfuckers about our ways, about our languages, about the things that we do, about our education and our knowledge and our understanding and our Akashic records and all of this stuff. We were sold out by our own, okay? It was our own, the people who looked just like us, that went and was pressed to teach these motherfuckers who we are, what we are, and how we do what we do, right? So, because they had this information, this inside knowledge, this inside information, they knew that they didn't have the same abilities to do the things that we did, right? Because you got to have neuromelanin. You got to be a melanated vessel. You have to come into this realm in the right vessel in order for you to capitalize off of this realm, right? This realm operates on the sun. Right, the sun and the earth is what makes this realm what it is. So if you come into this realm and you don't have the proper things to combat the sun and to deal with the earth's elements, then this is not the realm for you. And these motherfuckers knew from jump that this is not the realm for them. Okay, they know that they're a motherfucking science experiment going wrong. They understand this. So the way to gain power over us was to, number one, get us from the inside out. Right? If I get control of the mind of the people, then I have control of the people. If I get control of the language of the people, then I control the people and where the people go, right? So they basically have constructed English with so many detrimental phrases, words, and things of that nature, and then put it into our day-to-day language so that we can continuously put these spells over ourselves, okay? Now, real quick, what is a spell? A spell is anything that you say out of your mouth, anything that you do, any intention that you have to manifest or create something. Okay, doesn't have to be positive, doesn't have to be negative. It's just creating something. Okay, so every time you open your mouth, you are casting a spell. This is why we don't wake up and say good morning, because what about morning is good? What about grief is positive? If anything, what we're doing is we're casting a spell over our day that sometime throughout the day we will mourn. That's basically what you're saying. Oh, it's going to be a good morning today. I'm going to mourn so good. Like, what? Doesn't even make sense, right? So the reason why you hear spiritual people say grand rising is because, number one, everything rises with the sun. We are sun beings. We are sun people. We come from the sun. Our melanin is condensed sunlight. We are carbon beings. Okay, the carbon, aka the melanin in our skin, takes the energy from the sun and uses it as energy, as power. Okay, that's what we do. We are natural alchemists. We take all of the energy that we're getting, we dissect it through our nervous system, which is your energy system in your body, and it gives us information. It feeds our body, it unlocks our DNA, it does all types of different things. The same thing it does for plants, the same thing it does for animals. Everything in this realm is governed by the sun. Okay, so if you ever have seen a time lapse of plants when it's nighttime, okay, even the grass will hang over at night. Okay, the trees will hang down at night. Go, if you don't believe me, go on YouTube, put in time lapse of plants at night. Okay, it should pop up. But all of the plants hang over. Everything goes into a resting state when the sun is no longer out. When the moon is out, everything goes into a resting state, including us, right? But if you watch that same time lapse when the sun comes up, everything starts to rise. So this is why we say grand rising, because just like everything else, we rise with the sun. So this is a grand rising. This is an abundant rising. This is a beautiful rising. This is a wealthy awakening. Why? Because I have awakened from my slumber. I have awakened from my sleep, right? So everything that we use, all of the words that we're using to greet each other in the rising time is not only for the benefit of the people that we're saying it to, but firstly for the benefit of ourselves. Okay? If I'm waking up and saying, oh, such a great rising today, I'm already calibrating my day to look a certain type of way energetically. But if I wake up and say, oh, good morning, think about the way that people say good morning. People don't say good morning all perky and happy go lucky. Oh my God, good morning. No, they're like, ugh, good morning. Another day. Good morning, girl. How you doing? Very like, I'm just saying it because it's formal, right? I'm just saying it because that's what they told us to say when we wake up. Oh, girl, good morning. Ain't no life in that. Ain't no excitement in that. Ain't no joy in that. Ain't no love, no abundance. Okay, no peace, no prosperity in that. I can't feel nothing. That sound like you want to get back in the bed. That sound like today is not your day, right? But if I say grand rising, I ain't never heard nobody say grand rising with an attitude. I ain't never heard nobody say grand rising and the shit don't hit. Even if they say it in the regular grand rising, it's a different cadence. It's a different energy that you get when somebody is telling you grand rising, wealthy awakening. It's empowering you, right? Instead of feeling the heaviness of good morning, right? You feel empowered, you feel awakened, you feel rejuvenated, you feel open to new things, new opportunities, new ways of being, new experiences. You're more prepared for the day, you're more open for positive things to find you, and therefore positive things find you, right? I always tell people when they first start tapping in and start changing their language, let that be the first one that you change. And don't change it for other people, right? Don't change it because, oh, I'm spiritual, so now I need to start saying grand rising. Like, no. Change it because you start to notice that your energy, your day, the energy around you is completely different when you start your day off speaking more positively, more high vibrationally. Okay, so even little things like that can curse your day. Even little things like that can set the wrong tone for your day. And then we wonder why our day is hectic from that point on. We wonder why everything is going wrong from that point on. We wonder why we annoyed and why we irritated and why this is happening and that's happening and this is happening and that's happening. And it's all because we have energetically spoke over our day within 2 seconds. Not even 2 seconds. It probably take you a millisecond to say good morning real fast. But just in that moment, you've told over 100 million cells in your body that this is going to be a negative ass day, that you're about to prepare to mourn or to grieve. Okay, you done told the whole universe and all of the energies around you that you are prepared to mourn or to grieve, right? So you're going to hear a lot of people say a lot of dumbass shit when it comes to judging the spiritual community in the words that we use and the differences that we make in our speech. Especially when it comes to religious motherfuckers, they swear that what we saying, everything we saying is negative. Okay, everything we're saying is all of this and all of that. But for them to be so spiritual, quote unquote, so religious, they should be the ones that been changed their speech. Let's talk about it. If y'all so tapped in, then the Lord should have been told y'all motherfuckers to stop saying morning. Why is it that my ancestors is able to get through to me and tell me to stop saying the shit, but the Lord your God is not able to reach you? That don't make no motherfucking sense. Okay? He should have been told you that shit was negative as fuck. So don't let people, make you feel away because you are taking the conscious, you're making a conscious effort to change your speech, therefore changing your reality. Okay, because the words that we speak are so very important. Another thing I wanted to quickly go over, if you feel the top of your mouth with your tongue right now, Okay. Okay. If you feel the top of your mouth with your tongue right now, there are ridges at the top of your mouth. Okay. Now, remember I told y'all before, probably it was either yesterday or sometime last week. Everything in your body. Okay, what's going on? Everything in your body serves a purpose. Okay. Every single bump, ridge, muscle, bone, whatever. It all serves a purpose, right? The ridges at the top of our mouths are put there so that when our tongue slides across it or bumps up into it, it sends a vibration throughout those ridges. That vibration creates speech, sound. It helps you get out what you're saying, okay? So if we didn't have that ridge, or we had a flat top of our mouth, the energy, the vibration behind our words would be completely different. So this is why when you speak, your words are so powerful and things actually happen, because you are creating a frequency every time your tongue touches the roof of your mouth. Okay? Get into your quantum physics, get into your biology and things of that nature to understand that more. That's a rabbit hole to go down. Okay? Not only that, but our taste buds are actually hairs. Okay? The hairs on your tongue also move and flow with the vibration coming from your mouth. So everything that is in you helps you do what the fuck you need to do. The basic composition of your body is set up in a way that helps you create and do what you need to do. So this is why it is so important to make sure that the words that you're saying out of your mouth, you are consciously thinking of them as much as possible. Now, is it possible to always be aware of what you're saying when you're saying it? No. Sometimes we may say shit and it come out so goddamn fast we can't grab it fast enough. Right? Sometimes you might slip up and say stuff or whatever the case is, okay? It don't always agree. Okay? Players fuck up. It's all right. But the more you start to be conscious of the things that you say, the more you make an effort to pay attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth, the better it is. The more you're able to control your own narrative, therefore controlling your reality. Okay? Now, another word that I wanted to touch on, that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to spirituality. The first one, for those just tuning in, was grand rising or wealthy awakening, or whatever way you want to say it, whatever form you want to say it in. And like I said before, real quick, start practicing saying grand rising, or just shifting the way that you approach your day when you first wake up. Okay? Even when people, and don't be peer pressured into saying good morning to people just because they say that shit to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because somebody woke up to me and say good morning don't mean I'm going to be like, oh, good morning. No, grand rising. Happy rising. Or I'm just going to sure be like, hey. Like, when I first was shifting out of religion and getting more into, or getting back into my spirituality, getting closer with myself on a spiritual level, I was still helping out at my mom's church. I was still helping out at my grandmother's church. So I would still see these people, at least during the weekends. And they would, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I'd be like, at first I would still slip up and say good morning, because number one, I didn't want to feel out of place. I didn't want to put more attention on myself than I felt like was already on me, because of the fact that I'm making this life-changing decision, right? So I would just say good morning back, right? And then I got to a place where I'm like, okay, I don't want to say good morning, because at this point I feel like it's affecting me, because now I'm just doing this shit because you're doing it, and I don't want to be in that position. So then I just like, hey, how y'all doing? I would just respond that way to avoid the whole good morning, grand rising thing altogether. And then eventually I got to a place I'm just like, grand rising, happy rising, beautiful rising. What the fuck? What am I sitting here trying to? What the fuck? I'm being more positive than everybody in here. It's my responsibility to spread some positivity in this motherfucking room because all of y'all prepared to mourn and grieve, and it's fucking 8 a.m. We not fucking talking to each other like that. So I had to step into. Come on, thing. What are we doing? Hold on, y'all. Okay, there we go. I forgot why this thing keep freezing up. I had to step into a place. Where I was comfortable operating in my own skin, being my own person, and just not giving a fuck what people's talking about. Okay? So, baby steps, but you don't have to feel pressured, okay, to say some shit that you are finding out ain't it. Okay? Now, another perspective of this conversation that I want us to talk about is when it comes to the way that we speak about ourselves, okay? Words are curses. And the reason why we say that, or words can be curses, okay? And the reason why we say that is because everything that you say out of your mouth is a spell. So when you are saying things that are negative, when you are saying things that are limiting to who you are, when you're saying things that have a negative connotation or a negative undertone, you are again setting the tone, creating energy basically with the language that you're using. Okay, so one of the biggest ones that I had to start changing as well, first tapping in, is the way that we talk about ourselves in times of distress, in times of negative situations, in times of anxiety, in times of worry, in times of doubt, so on and so forth, right? So one of the biggest ones that I stopped saying is I can't. If you really think about how many times a day you say I can't, if you started to tally throughout the day how many times you say I can't, it will shock the fuck out of you, right? Because what I'm saying is, what I'm putting out there is, I do not possess, or I do not have the capability or the capacity to achieve whatever it is that I need to achieve or that I'm trying to achieve. I am telling everything around me that it is against my abilities to perform whatever duty I need to perform, for me to accomplish whatever task is at hand. I can't do it, right? And we have been kind of taught to think that saying stuff like that is temporary. Oh, it just means that I can't in the moment. Okay, ain't no such thing as in the moment, because the moment creates your future experience. So everything in the moment counts as if it is the future experience that you're living. So saying I can't in the moment is basically saying I can't in the future as well. Saying I don't know in the moment is saying I don't know in the future as well. Saying, I don't know how, or I'm not able to, or I can't do this, or I'm not good at this, or I'm bad at this. All of the little things, the little phrases that we're so used to saying that we just rub off as normal, we don't realize that we are putting a layer of negativity over the shit that we're trying to accomplish. So now you and your words are working against each other. Your intentions and the words that you're speaking are working against each other. And this is why we usually are not able to accomplish the things that we're trying to accomplish. And we end up proving ourselves right about the fact that we can't, right? It's not that you're proving yourself right about the fact that you can't because you can't, right? Because you don't have the ability to do so. You're proving yourself right because you said that you can't, and now you can't. Not because you couldn't, but because you didn't, and you spoke that negativity over your situation, over your life, over whatever's going on, and then it happened, because that's how manifestations work. Okay? Intention plus words equals manifestation. Intention, words, and belief equals manifestation. So if I'm putting in these intentions, I'm putting these words onto it, and then I believe that I can't do the shit, why the fuck would I expect for it to happen any other way? I'm telling my life everything that I want it to be. I'm saying that I cannot, which means that my life needs to show me that I cannot. I'm saying that I don't know, which means that my life needs to show me that I don't know. Right? So making those small little changes, those are things that we don't even think about. Those things we so used to saying, and when you actually start to trace it back even further, you realize a lot of it comes from childhood trauma. If you raise a child with the mentality that they can do anything, they will have a completely different life than raising a child with the mentality that they are limited, that there's certain things that they can and cannot do. Those two children are gonna have two different lives. They can be twins. Okay, they can be identical twins, but if you raise one telling them that they have the ability to do anything that they want, they just gotta try, put a little extra effort in or whatever, and you raise the other one saying that they can't do shit, and if they do, then they got lucky. Those are gonna be two different lifestyles being lived out. Right? So making those small little changes helps so fucking much. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to kind of go over a little bit is when you are in situations that may feel negative, that is when your speech matters the most. That is when your intentions matter the most. That is when, what you actually want to happen, the outcome you actually want to happen matters the most. So like I was saying in the beginning, before I got on this live today, I had my little drink set up, I had my laptop, I got all of my little stuff going, my little incense, all of that. Went to move my table and everything fell on the ground. All of my juice fell all over the floor. Good thing I got hardwood floors, so I just had to clean up a little bit. All my juice fell on the floor. My laptop fell on the floor.
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It looks like a router issue, so try restarting it. Unplug the router, wait 10 seconds, then plug it back in.
Who the fuck said anything to her? Okay, I guess we'll say that's confirmation. But anybody said shit to her, so I don't know where the fuck she came from with that. But anyway, spilled all my juice on the floor, laptop fell, and I thought it had fell in the juice. Thankfully it didn't. All of this happened right before I was about to press the button to go live. Right? Now, old Poca, okay, prior to tapping in, prior to getting an understanding of words and energy and vibration, old Poca would have got annoyed as fuck and said, fuck all of this live. I'm about to lay my ass back down and start over another day. Okay, fuck all of this shit. I'm about to just do something else. I don't even feel like getting on the motherfucking live no more. I'm fucking over it. Old Poca would have closed his motherfucking laptop down and just figured it just wasn't my day, right? But Spiritual Poca said, oh, let me just get this towel, wipe this up real fast, and then put the ice cubes outside, real quick. So it don't melt on my floor or melt in my trash can. And I'm just going to set my stuff up, and I'll just get another cup of juice when I finish my life. Now, me making that little change, me in that moment not getting frustrated, me in that moment not getting annoyed, me in that moment not getting upset, me in that moment not, basically acting like literally I spilled milk all over the place, okay? Me in that moment not giving that negativity any energy allow me to not even motherfucking be affected by the fact that that shit happened. The only thing that makes me even remember that the shit happened before I got on live is the fact that I don't got no juice right now. And I do want my juice. But I could have easily, before I got on live, went downstairs and just got me another cup of juice, right? Another quick fix, right? So even in moments of despair, even in moments that are usually annoying, even in moments where we usually lose our temper or get annoyed or quit or get upset, also remembering in those moments that the words that we use with ourselves, the ways that we think, and the ways that we react are so fucking important. It can be the difference between you having a shitty day the rest of the day, or the difference between you just having a little shitty moment. And sometimes we get so caught up in the shitty moments that we make them shitty days, and them shitty days become shitty weeks, and them shitty weeks become shitty months, and them shitty months become shitty years. And now we got a shitty ass lifetime. Okay, now we live in a shitty life. All right, when in that moment, the simplest change of perspective could have saved you so much time and energy and extra emotion that would have been completely unnecessary. Right? What the fuck do I look like getting upset that some juice spilled on the ground and that was the only thing that went wrong? That was the only thing that went wrong was some juice fell on the floor. Did the floor break? No. Did my laptop break? No. Did the juice get on my laptop? No. Right? Did it knock my Wi-Fi out and the house burnt down? No. It's just some juice spilled on the floor. A big ass cup of juice, but it was just some juice on the floor. That's something I can just clean up. Now, was it a little sticky after I cleaned it up and I had to go back again and make sure I got all of the sugary substance up so my floor don't be sticky? Hell yeah. Was that a little bit extra? A little bit more than I planned on doing? Hell yeah. But either way, did I die? Fuck no. Did it fuck up my whole day? Do I now need to go into hiding? Fuck no. So even our responses to situations has such a huge impact on the way that things progress. Okay? So, when people say shit to you, or when you run into situations at work, or when you driving and a motherfucker cuts you off, or when somebody used the wrong tone with you, or just the different things that happen to us in our lifetime. If I know, confirmation. If I know that this shit is not affecting my livelihood, my money, my health, my wealth, my future, what the fuck is the point of me sitting here going crazy? What is the point of me sitting here wasting time, blowing up, cussing motherfuckers out, mad as shit, running around, screaming, hollering, acting like a chicken with their head cut off? What does that serve? How does that help me? How does that benefit me in that moment? And what kind of solution does that warrant? How is this helping me progress from this inconvenience, to a more normal state of being? It doesn't. You know what helps you progress? Being conscious in the moment, asking yourself conscious questions. So when that shit spilled on the floor, I asked myself, is this something that is going to affect me long term, or is this a short term thing? It's a short term thing. It's a very short term thing. Once the juice is off the fucking floor, it's over. It's a short term thing, right? And I seen somebody talk about anger issues. I used to have the worst anger issues, real bad. And it didn't take me a long time to get in my motherfucking feelings and feel some type of way neither. A bitch look at me wrong, I'm like, ugh. What? Like, can I help you? I used to be that type. But then I realized that it wasn't the situations in that moment that I was going through that was causing me to act like that. It was a buildup of always acting like that, always holding on to shit, always pulling on and tapping into the negativity of situations instead of acknowledging the positive and the high vibrational, parts of whatever is going on, or focusing on the things that are going right instead of capitalizing and focusing all of my attention and energy on the shit that's going the fuck wrong. Okay, goes back into shadow work. The more you start to work on yourself and break down who you are, break down why you do the things that you do, you will realize how much time and energy you're wasting on shit that does not even deserve your time or energy. People, places, things, experiences, all type of shit. We'll sit there and fuck our whole week up over one conversation. We'll sit there and fuck our whole month up over one inconvenience. One minor inconvenience, might I add. This ain't nothing super serious. This ain't nothing, where you gonna lose your life or your loved ones is at risk. These are minor inconveniences. These are small things that would take 60 seconds to get the fuck over. Right? And it's because of the fact that we have never been taught to decompress. We've never been taught how to decompress. We've never been taught how to analyze situations and how to determine what gets our energy and what does not deserve our energy. We have been trained through our environment, through our childhood, that every inconvenience deserves energy. And that's just not the case. Everything does not deserve your motherfucking energy. And until you learn that and really, really start to understand that, you will continuously waste energy on things that don't even deserve your time. And then when you start to do that, you realize that you are prolonging shit that was not even supposed to be all of that. It wasn't even supposed to be that deep. But because you done blown up and you done took it out of proportion and you done become negative Nancy and all of this shit is going on, you done turned this small issue into a big ass mountain in 2.2 seconds. And then you stressed over some shit that you created. That wasn't even there at first. You made this what the fuck it is. Right? Another thing, that I hear a lot of people saying, and it just really grinds my gears, is even the expressions that we use in day-to-day conversation. So when people be like, oh my God, I'm so dead. Why the fuck would you say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would that be your words of choice? That's not really something that you should be saying with a smile on your face and happy energy. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm so dead. Oh, I'm so weak. Those small little things set tones. Trust me. And it may seem like, oh, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. Right? People always think, oh, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. It's just a word. It's not that deep. It's just a word. Like, okay. Now, does that mean that you're going to pass out and die? No. But things in your life can die. The energy within you can die. You can become weakened when it comes to certain situations and problems and things and stuff that's going on. So you never know what you're speaking or the words that you're speaking, how it will affect things that's going on in your life. Be mindful of the way that you're using words. Be mindful of the phrases that you say. Okay? Regardless of if you hear other people saying it or fucking not. I don't give a damn. Okay? Regardless if people going to look at you and be like, oh, you're doing too much. It's not that deep. Okay, bitch, it's not that deep to you. But it's most definitely that deep to me. Because I'm not walking around going, I'm dead. Because I'm very much alive. I'm very much breathing. It's giving life and breath. Because what the fuck is we talking about? I'm not dead with shit. Right? So the small things that we say, the small ways that we talk about ourselves, right? If I look like this, if I had this, if I was like this person, if this was like this, you don't even realize what you're saying and what you're basically telling spirit. Right? When you look at other people's lives and when you look at what other people got going on and, oh, I wish I had that. And if I could just have this. Be careful. Y'all, we all heard that expression. Be careful what you wish for. Everything that glitters ain't fucking gold. Everything that looks good ain't good. And because now we live in this social media era, y'all think that everything that you see is real life, and it is actually the opposite. Okay? 80% of what you see is created for you to see it that way. But behind closed doors, it is something completely different. It is giving something completely different. It is not what you think it is. And until you understand that, you're going to continuously be bamboozled by the shit that is around you, by the shit that is in your space. Okay? So don't be out here wishing for people's lives and wishing for people's spouses and wishing for people's gifts and wishing for people's, experiences or whatever the case is, fame, fortune, whatever, because you do not know what comes with none of that shit. And that's one of the oldest expressions in the book. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Okay? You don't know what them people had to go through to get to where they got. And everybody don't share everything with everybody. So you don't know the ins and outs of people's lives, the ins and outs of people's traumas, the ins and outs of people's experiences in order for them to be at the place that they're at. This is why you got to get to a place in your spirituality where you are comfortable walking in your own footsteps. Not worrying about another motherfucker. Because everybody has a different destiny. Everybody has different goals. Everybody has different dreams. Everybody has different paths and ways to get to those places. And the more that we sit here and try to fit into this cookie cutter mold and make our lives, look like somebody else's lives or have similar experiences, the more we are getting further and further away from the shit that is for us. Okay? So be careful, be mindful with the words that you use. Be careful, be mindful with the words that people use with you. Because sometimes it's not always about what you say. It's about what people are saying to you about you. Right? When, backhanded compliments. If I'm saying, oh, I just was able to solidify this class that I've been trying to take for a long time. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And the motherfucker come and be like, you sure that you can handle all that handle that with everything that's on your plate? That's energy going into the motherfucking universe. Now you can either confirm or deny. You can either amplify it by agreeing with that motherfucker, or you can cut that shit and chop it down by, being the alchemist, taking that negativity and transmuting it into something positive. Right? So if a motherfucker say, oh, you sure you can handle that with everything on your plate? I'm definitely sure. If I'm here, I know I can handle it. I can handle anything. I can handle whatever comes to me. Because I know if it's coming to me, it's because I can handle it. You gotta know how to speak against motherfuckers. You gotta know when people are sending you shit through the motherfucking airways so you can cut that shit the fuck down. So you can send that shit the fuck back. Okay? Because listen, now I got time for that. All right? Now I got time for that. You so stupid. Who? I don't care if you saying it in a joking manner or not. No, I'm not. Hee hee ha. Hee hee hell. I'm not stupid. What are you talking about? Right? Even when it comes, going back to I don't know. That used to be one of my favorite phrases to say. And I had to realize it was never that I didn't know. It was that, number one, I either didn't want to say, right? Because we love to play stupid. No, I don't know. I either didn't want to say it in the moment, or I didn't take time enough to decipher what it is to know. Right? So I stopped saying that shit. I don't say I don't know at all. Well, I make a conscious effort to not say it. Because remember, sometimes you're going to slip up. A lot of this stuff we've been doing since we was kids. Right? So you're unlearning things while relearning or learning new things. Okay? So sometimes you're going to have your slip ups. But the point is, when you know better, you do better. So when you are in that conscious state and you pick up on it, instead of saying, I don't know, be like, let me think about that. Let me think more on it. Instead of saying, I don't know, let me think more on that and get back to you. Let me figure that out. Because I know. It just may not be at the tip of my tongue. It just may not be something that I've sat down to consider. It just may not be something that I want to share with your motherfucking ass right now. Let me think about that. That's a good point. Let me figure that out. Right? Or, in this moment, it's not coming to me, but I know it will. Speaking with purpose. Speaking with purpose. Okay? Now, on the flip side, when it comes to being more positive in your language, that's why they say speak things as though they were, right? Because you want to speak as if you're already in that energy so that you can basically manifest that energy to you, right? Manifestation happens when your intention your ability to know or believe, and your words are all aligned with the same energy, right? So instead of me saying, oh, you know, let's see. Instead of me saying, that would be so nice if, or I wish that would happen for me, right? Or I wish that I would have that type of success, or I wish that I would be the first millionaire in my family, right? Instead of saying that, I'd be like, I'm so happy and grateful that I am, right? Or I'm so happy and grateful that I'm on my way to being. I'm so happy and grateful I'm in the process of becoming. Right? And it takes time. Of course, in a moment, you're not going to think of all of these nuances and different ways of saying stuff and, just be, popping shit out. I mean, of course not. It's going to take you some time. But again, when you know better, you do better. The more you start to speak with that type of authority, with that type of inner knowing, it doesn't mean that you're lying, because you are in the process of becoming a millionaire. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm a step closer to becoming the first millionaire in my family. Right? Did you lie? No. Right? A lot of times y'all don't want to speak, in that manner because you feel like you're lying, or you feel like it's not true, or you feel like, you're still looking at reality and comparing it to what you're trying to manifest, and you can't do that. Because sometimes the things that you're trying to manifest defy reality. Some of that shit you just can't figure out. Some of that shit you just can't make sense of. And that's what's so amazing about the spiritual realm, is things can happen and come in so many different ways, shapes, and forms that you would have never expected or guessed. So you don't want to box yourself in with your words. You don't want to box yourself in with your beliefs. You don't want to box yourself in when it comes to things that could potentially happen for you. Right? That's why I told y'all about affirmations. Affirmations are so good when it comes to rewriting your subconscious and being more positive in your speech. If you make a conscious effort to wake up every day and say positive phrases and say, positive words to yourself, or a positive chant, listening to a positive song, because affirmations are in songs too. Lyrics are chants. Chants are affirmations. Okay? So when you're repeating a chorus and you're repeating verses, that's an affirmation. That's why I tell y'all, be careful of the music that you listen to, because it's an affirmation. You're affirming shit to yourself. Okay? Be careful with the motherfucking songs that you're listening to, especially when you're waking up in the rising, especially when you just opened your eyes. When you're trying to figure out why all these motherfuckers out here killing and shooting each other, well, they listening to Rod Wave and Lil Baby at 6:30 a.m. I mean, how the fuck you think your day is going to go? Right? So it's not only just the power of your own tongue, it's also the power of the tongues that you are listening to, that you are around. When it comes to your friends, your family members, you don't need to have nobody in your space that is negative, purposefully and constantly negative. Now, sometimes, like I said, you're going to slip up, because a lot of things are just second nature to us because of the life that we've lived, because of our traumas in our childhood. There's a lot of things that we're still trying to undo, unlearn, and fix, right? So if you have people around you that are making a conscious effort to be more positive, they're on their spiritual journey as well, and they may slip up a time or two, that's okay. But if you around a negative ass motherfucker, and you know when a motherfucker just negative, they don't got nothing positive to say. Everything they do, listen to, the people they talk to, the people they be around, the things they do, everything is just negative. No type of positivity, nowhere. Okay, talk about a Debbie fucking Downer. Those are people you gotta cut off. Those are people you do not need to be around. Those are people you need to let go of. Those are people that you need to just go ahead and okay. Let them be around other people that want to be negative like that. Because sometimes, I'm not going to say sometimes, it is difficult to heal in a toxic environment. Okay? And that doesn't always mean your household. Your environment is not just your household. I got to understand that. It's not just the people that you live with. Because I've talked to so many people and I'm like, your environment may be toxic. Oh, but I live by myself. Okay, bitch. But is you by yourself every day, all day? No. Okay? So who are you around? And even if you're not physically around people, what is in your environment when it comes to what you're listening to? What is in your environment when it comes to what you're watching? What is in your environment when it comes to what you're intaking? Or what are you feeding to yourself? Because yourself is also an environment. So what is happening in your own personal, private environment that may be toxic to you? That's why I say the most powerful curses are the ones that we put on ourselves, because we are the ones putting it on us. So it's hitting the target, okay? Bullseye. Literally, directly hitting the motherfucking target with our ass. Right? People can talk shit all they want, but you have to accept it for it to affect you. That's the thing about people, places, and things. Right? I have to make it a part of my energy. I have to accept it into my energy. I have to open the door and let it come in if I want it to be a part of my energy. But when I say it myself, it's already a part of my energy. That's why that shit hit fast. This is why for a lot of us, you'll be like, damn, when people do shit to me, I feel like it take them a long time to get their karma. But when I do shit, it's like my karma just happened real quick, because you are causing the problem. The call is coming from inside the house. Okay? So the call is coming from inside the house. It don't take that long to track it down, versus the call coming from outside the house. Right? If it's coming from outside the house, I gotta locate it. I gotta figure out where it is. I gotta see if I'm, able to even accept it. And there's so many different things I gotta go through. But when it's coming from me, green light. It can go past all of those doors that are usually locked and affect me in ways that other things cannot. Right? So this is why we say change your space, change your environment, change your mental environment. Right? Watch, if you like to read more uplifting, powerful, empowering type books, positive type books, things of that nature. If you like to listen instead of read, watch lectures, podcasts, things that are high vibrational, things that are going to feed your soul. And this is another thing. Watch people who are in a position you want to be at, not people that you want to be. Gotta be specific, because we don't want to be nobody but ourselves. But people who are in a position that you will want to be at, meaning, oh, this person is at a place where they are able to be more positive. I want to be more positive. Let me watch their content. Oh, this person is at a place where they have more knowledge. I want more knowledge. Let me watch this content. Oh, this person is at a place where they are tapping into shadow work and doing their healing. I want to do those things as well. I want to get on track with those things as well. Let me watch their content. That doesn't mean that everything that that person says or does, you need to say and do. No. But it does mean you can use this person or these people or these things or these words or these phrases or affirmations or whatever as inspiration to assist you with figuring out what works for you. Okay? So don't listen to Poca so that you can take everything Poca says and do it verbatim. Listen to Poca so that you can figure out what different things you can try so that you can figure out what method works for you. Because we all have different paths. We all operate off of different energies, and different things work for us because we're all different. So the recipe that works for me flawlessly, you might have to tweak it. Right? If I'm making a peanut brittle cookie, that sounds good. Somebody need to make a peanut brittle cookie. I love peanut brittle and I love cookies. Somebody get on that. I don't know where that came from, but somebody need to work that out and send me a couple so I could taste test. Anyway, if I was to make a peanut brittle cookie and you like the idea, but you allergic to peanuts, then you can't follow my idea to the last line. You can't follow my recipe to the last ingredient. You gonna have to tweak it because you allergic to peanuts, right? If I'm making pistachio ice cream, I don't eat pistachio ice cream, but if you do, you do. Shout out to you, right? You may be allergic to pistachios. So instead of pistachio ice cream, you may have to put a little chocolate in yours, or a little strawberry, or something else. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to make some sherbet or something. Or sorbet, depending on how motherfucking bougie you want to be for the day. I don't fucking know. But you have to tweak it to fit where you are and what you're doing. And that's with everything and anything. Okay? All right. So if y'all have any questions, you can quickly write them I'll answer them in the order they come. If you do have any questions, real quick, while you're typing, if you're typing, again on the 13th, which is next Tuesday, I am doing the Trauma Healing Masterclass. It is a 3-hour masterclass where I'll be using The Shadow Is You as the book to kind of go through and use as a guide. We also will be tapping into ways of healing, shadow work healing, trauma healing, childhood healing, all of those things as well, with a Q&A at the end. Also on Thursday, over on Throne Talk, which is my podcast channel that I do co-hosting with Empress Amber, we will be talking about soul contracts and life purposes on Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely make sure that you go and subscribe there as well. Watch some of the old videos that we posted already so that you can get brought up to speed. Even if you don't watch the old ones, just make sure that you subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when we go live on Thursday and you can tap in. This is going to be a really, really good one, talking about soul contracts and life purposes, you know, specifically because of the fact that that's what we're here to figure out. We're here to figure out what our soul contract is, what our life purpose is, so that we can fulfill that destiny, okay? Also, all other mentoring, shadow work, life coaching, therapy sessions, counseling sessions, spiritual classes, courses, all of those things are still available for those who need assistance. I do have lots of payment plans, lots of specials going on right now. So just inbox me. If you don't know what you need, but you know you just need help, assistance, whatever, just reach out. Okay. I always tell y'all, you never know what I'm going to say until you reach out. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Question: how do you deal with a negative parent who is a Debbie Downer? So at some point, number one, don't tell them shit that you have going on. That's number one. Okay? Don't tell them a fuck ass thing that you're doing, that you're working on, that you got going on. Okay? At some point, you know, with parents like that, depending on how bad it is, okay? Depending on how bad it is. This is just basic negativity, okay? Parents like that, we have to get comfortable having certain topics, conversations, things that we address with them, certain topics, conversations, things that we do not address with them. Okay? It's called a boundary, right? So when it comes to the things that I am doing with my life, I do not share certain things with my parents. My mother, everybody knows my mother is a devout Christian. She is a pastor, and she told me to my face that she will never support the things that I do when it comes to spirituality because it goes against her belief system, according to her, right? Straight up told me to my face, right? And in my head, I'm like, well, damn. So what the fuck do I talk to you about? If I'm not talking to you about the things that I'm working on, the things that I'm dealing with, the things that I got going on, what the fuck is there to talk to you about? Just your shit? Just my brother's shit? Just what's going on with everybody else? Yes. That will be all. If I do discuss anything with her, it won't be about what the fuck I got going on. Because you're not going to inflict your negativity on my shit. I'm not gonna put my baby, okay? It's like putting your baby in the hands of a crackhead. I'm not gonna put my precious child in the hands of a crackhead just because the crackhead is my mama or my daddy. I'm just not gonna fucking do that. That makes no fucking sense, right? So boundaries will be number one. The second thing I would say, depending on the severity of the situation, you might have to just cut their ass off. Sometimes people are too negative for us to keep around, and the more that we try to hold on, the more we actually cause harm to ourselves. Sometimes, you know, there's more harm done in holding on than it is in letting go. If I'm holding on to a barbed wire, I'm inflicting more pain trying to hold on to the motherfuckers, splitting my shit open instead of just letting go and letting them bandage up with what's been done and then healing from it and moving the fuck on. Right? So you got to figure out what side of the scale you're on. Are you in a position where you just need a boundary? right? Because sometimes the boundary comes with a conversation. Hey, I understand that you guys may not agree with what I'm doing, or I understand that you may not share the same views as me, or I understand that you may think negatively of something that I don't think negatively of, but I'm here to let you know that it affects me. And if you continue to do that, I will either, stop telling you what I have going on, and just keep certain things to myself and, keep you at a certain distance, or I will no longer be in contact with you because your negativity is too much for me to try to deal with on top of what I'm already dealing with in life. Like, I don't have time. So, being spiritual, choosing this journey, choosing to be a part of this journey is one of the hardest things you can do, because everybody don't want to do the shit with you. Everybody don't feel the same way you feel. Everybody's not going to wake up and smell a coffee the way that you did. So you have a responsibility of loyalty to yourself and your journey and your purpose and your divine plan and your life contract. Because those people have a contract of their own. And it's up to them to fulfill their shit. We not out here trying to stop their fucking contract. We not out here trying to cause them to not, accomplish whatever they were sent here to accomplish. So why should we allow them to do those very things to us? Right? Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's just that simple. And you got to be okay with cutting people off. This is the same thing with a spouse. A lot of y'all may be the only spiritual person in your relationship. Your spouse may not be spiritual. Your spouse may be a negative person. Your spouse may still have childhood trauma. Your spouse may still be healing from, negativity or whatever the case is. And a lot of y'all are going to have to make a decision. Is this something that I can put up a boundary with and deal with? Because this is your direct environment. So is this something I can ignore? Can I sleep next to a negative ass person every night? Can I give a negative ass person my body every day? Can I enter into the spiritual realm through sex with a negative ass person every night? Can I continue to create life and make babies with a negative ass person? These are things that you got to start thinking about when you enter spirituality. This is why a lot of people don't do this journey. That's why this journey is one of the hardest things that you will ever do in your motherfucking life. Because every decision that you make has to be made with purpose and with meaning and for a purpose. Period. So me simply choosing to no longer be friends with certain people was behind my spirituality. You are negative to me. Me walking away from my family members was behind my spirituality. You are negative to me. It wasn't because of their beliefs. That's the difference between spiritual people and non-spiritual people. Spiritual people don't cut you off because you don't share the same beliefs as us. We cut you off because your energy, whatever you believe, may be negatively affecting what the fuck we got going on. Or who you are as a person is negatively affecting what we got going on. We can give a fuck about what you believe because that don't got shit to do with me. But if your beliefs are causing you to act a certain type of way that is negative, then I gotta get the fuck. I gotta go. And you just gotta be okay with just getting the fuck up out of there. And tell them to kiss your motherfucking ass. That's just what I'm saying. All right, so light and love to all of you beautiful people. Again, I am doing 2024 personal readings for those who are interested. So you can either email me or you can inbox me if you follow me on any of my socials. Definitely also make sure that you head over to my Amazon storefront where all of my books are. Even some of the products that I use and that I've talked about in different settings are also there as well. The links are in my bio for all of those things. Of course, if you're interested in the masterclass, it is first come, first serve. So definitely make sure that you inbox me. I am also taking half payments for the masterclass as well. For those who may want to put a little something on it to solidify your spot, I am doing that. Depending on how many people sign up, I may do a two-parter. Okay, so I'll keep y'all posted on if I do that or not. Other than that, light and love, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Make sure that you take these messages, these words of wisdom into consideration. Make sure that you are paying attention to the words that you're using on a daily basis. Make sure you're paying attention to the words and phrases that you're responding to, not allowing negativity into your space, not allowing negative people, okay, into your mindset, into your mentality, into your head, into your energy, okay? Keeping your environments pure, keeping your environments clean and safe. Call your power back, okay, from everybody. and everywhere that no longer serves you. Okay.